Who you with, Kirk, though? I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Who you with, Kirk? I'm out. Welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak on It. Welcome to Speak on It. I'm welcome to Speak on It. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to Speak on It. Welcome to Speak on it. I'm welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. I'm 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 welcome to speak. Who you with, Kirk, dog? Welcome to Speak on It with Who You With, Kirk, dog. I'm Who You With, Kirk, dog. Want to welcome everyone to the show. Happy Thursday to you. Hopefully y'all had a great day today. As always, every day it's a great day for me. I guess I'm walking on the ground and the ground not walking on me. Want to welcome everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is in the house. Continue to support the show. And also Anchor.fm is also in the house. As we recording the show live for them. Yeah, hopefully y'all had a great week. I know some of you probably wondering, you ain't saying nothing about Miss Risky. Well, she's not feeling too good today. So we're gonna send our prayers up to her. Hopefully she'll be back next week and be feeling much better. So, but she did say she did miss y'all tonight. So, but she looking forward to next week. Yeah, this shooting yesterday, Timberview High School. I said it last night on the show that there's said it's have something to do with bullying. So with dealing with bullying, um, a lot of kids get bullied for many reasons. Um, and that's what's coming. That's what I keep hearing about what happened yesterday. He'd been bullied. And my question is, did the school do enough to protect him from being bullied? Because they allege there's a lot of reports of bullying. He made a lot of reports of him being bullied, not just for um, getting bullied, but I believe the story came out he possibly been um, picked on for a long time. Then he also um, people was jealous, which people do that all the time. They see you have nice things and they get upset because they want it. So that's what we're gonna hit on tonight, talking about bullying. And then I'm also talk about another case that while I was researching uh, Timothy Simpkins case, I end up running across another case here locally. Um, Trent Irwin, young man, Mel has ISD. I believe he's a senior there. But this is crazy. He went to a sleepover. His parents trusted the kids enough to go to a sleepover. But he was bullied at the sleepover. Um, and the sad part about it, Trent Irwin is also deaf. So he has a handicap because what his dad was saying, when he take his earpieces out at night, he cannot hear anything. And while he was asleep, started off just slapping him. Then when he was defending himself, one of the students ended up really hitting him. So we're gonna hit on that tonight because, and hopefully y'all can have the kids around. I'm a, I don't think I'll be doing no cussing tonight, so it'll be kid friendly tonight. But definitely, that's something we need to talk with our kids um, about this bullying because, like I said last night, don't know a whole bunch about it, but it came up yesterday. Um, that's what I kept hearing yesterday on different news outlets that it could be something dealing with bullying, and now that's what it is. So um, with Timothy Simpson, he actually is out on bond now. He was released from Tarrant County Jail after posting bond. The shooting occurred yesterday. Uh, he emerged from the building wearing a blue shirt and a cap and quickly left the area. And earlier, county records showed Simpson was transferred from Arlington Jail to Tarrant County Jail. His bond was set at $75,000. He faced 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Police say the 18-year-old is a person who opened fire in a classroom on the second floor of Timberview High School. After getting into a fight with another student, police allege Simpson brought a weapon to school and at some point during or after the fight, got the 45 caliber handgun, started shooting. He's accused of firing that gun and fleeing the scene. The school was put on lockdown and police searched for him for hours before he eventually went to a local police station along with his lawyer and turned himself in. Um, Said the investigator believed the gun used in the crime was the one found about 2 miles from the school along a street in Grand Prairie. The school is in Arlington, but it's part of Mansfield Independent School District. After it was determined Simpson was no longer on campus, the all clear was given at Timberview, and students and staff were allowed out of their classroom and office excuse me, to begin to reunify process at an offset location. Late Wednesday morning, dozens of buses lined up outside the school to transfer more than 1,800 students. Um, the shooting sent 3 people, 2 students and a teacher, to the hospital. Two of those victims were shot and remain hospitalized. A 15-year-old student is in ICU, and a 25-year-old teacher, Calvin Petty, is in good condition. All those injured are expected to recover. Now, the 15-year-old, after the police watched the video, they did announce he could be facing charges. And if this is the person um, that actually been doing all the bullying, it's going to be some heavy charges come about because I'm not, I definitely don't agree um, with taking a weapon to school and shooting folks. But compared to the other school shootings, some of the other ones that we've heard about, um, it was basically a self-defense because they followed the steps. Now, the school gave a statement saying that every allegation of bullying um, have been investigated. Um, so, with that being said, they won't release the reports, but did the school do what they supposed to protect Timothy Simpson? Because a lot of these other school shooting that we have talked about, they were just randomly shooting folks. That's all they did. They didn't care. They just shot until they didn't have any more ammo. But this happened after being attacked. I don't know what happened at the beginning of the video, what prompt the fight, but if this young man been bullied this whole time and the school is not doing anything about it, that seems like it's a problem because you're supposed to protect all the students. And I hate to say it, but some people may look at it as if, oh, we're going to protect this student, but this one we're not going to protect because of whatever reason. But this should have never happened. If the school would have took these allegations serious enough, I don't think it would have happened because it would have been other things taking place that could have prevented this. Uh, First of all, by the bullying stop, have a meeting with both parents, and once you had those meetings, then you come to a point and say, hey, okay, now they know what's going on. It's up to their parent to tell their child that's not right. You don't do that. But unfortunately, in the society that we're living in, a lot of the parents are scared of their kids. The kids raise themselves. And because they are raising themselves, um, the parents let them do what they're going to do. It's like, hey, I'm gonna turn my back on it, whatever this situation may be. But I'm sorry, I think I finally found the live video on YouTube. Welcome to the show. All aboard is in the house. Thank you for supporting the show. Say sad to hear, glad no one died. Yes, that's a great thing. No one lost their life. Um, the young man seemed like he's a good kid. Um, it's just the fact when you have your back up against the wall, it it's one of those situations that um, you got to find other options. And after being beat like that, I don't know if anyone's seen that video, but he was beat pretty good. And at that point, probably felt like his life was threatened. I don't know if that was the first time he got into a fight, but I did read some other stories where they said he possibly was robbed at the school. People stole stuff from him on a regular basis. So if this the first time he got into a fight like that, um, that will make you nervous. You don't know what to expect. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not justifying anything about um I'm not justifying anything about the situation, but we as parents need to talk with our kids. Let them know bullying is not right. This is not the way to do it. If you have a problem with somebody, talk to them. If you don't like somebody because of the things they wear or anything like that, make that decision not to deal with them. But if you flat out right just jealous of them, just leave them alone. Because the thing is, you never know. Yeah, it was said he had nice things, had a nice car, and all of this, and people was jealous of him. Well, this young man probably worked all summer. However, he got it. Don't be jealous. Maybe what you probably should do is try to friend that person, and you friend them, and they might change your life and tell you how you can get these things also, show you the right way of getting them. But being jealous of a person is just not right. It's not right. Um, I know a lot of people gonna say, "Oh, yeah, but he shouldn't have shot at the school." You're right. He shouldn't have took a gun to the school. He should not have done that. That never should have happened. Welcome to the show, T Cal. I see Marcella Smith. I know I see him on Thursday. Uh, Welcome to the show, Marcella Smith. What's up, y'all? It's the People Show. Hey, I appreciate you for always supporting you, T Cal, all aboard, all the other listeners, because we have a lot of listeners that come in and they just come in and just sit back and listen. Then some of them will send me a message on one of the platforms, which is okay. I'm okay with that. I don't mind talking to you. Um, but this situation at Timberview High School is a sad situation. And like I said last night, um, it's the it throws up questions. Should metal detector be at all schools? I think that'll prevent a lot of things. Now, I know in the DFW, uh, that's Dallas Fort Worth for the ones not from here. Um, Metal detectors are mainly located in the low income areas. But when we hear about school shooting, they're not necessary in the low income area. A lot of them is in the upper class area. Do you feel like schools should have metal detective in all schools, especially in the that we are in now, with everything that we have going on today? Should metal detector be in all schools? Um, Marcelo said, "Man, I've been hitting it hard the last few days, but I've been catching the replays. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it." I said, "Yes, I have a niece in pre-K. I don't want her to be a victim of this. Every school needs them." Exactly. I feel like they need them, no matter what. And especially since a piece of a governor signed that bill to make it easier to carry guns now. If you don't have metal detectors at the doors, you don't know who coming in with a gun, a knife, or whatever. You don't know. So yeah, I'm like you, Marcellus. I feel like they should be. I feel like they really should have metal detectors at all schools. I don't care if you're in Highland Park or you're in Sappho Cliff. It should be metal detectors at all schools. to protect not only the kids, but also the staff. So we need to break that stereotype. We only need them in the lower income area. No, because Timberview is not a. To be honest with you, Timberview look almost like a college campus. When I was used to pass by it back in the days, I'm like, whoa, that's a huge high school. So yeah, you should have them. But they feel like because of the area that they're in, it's no reason to spend that money on that. There's no reason to do it. Matter of fact, Greg Abbott, eh, all that money you raising for the wall, how about protecting us, our kids? Let's do that. Sign a executive order, put metal detector in all schools. Do that. We're still not going to vote for you, though, but at least do that before you get out of office. And trust me, we still going to vote you out next year. And you can raise all the money you want to, but you show pushing hard trying to build that wall. And don't get it twisted. Yeah, they'll raise a lot of money for that wall, but that wall will not be finished before Greg get out of office. He's only doing this to try to get reelected. So don't get it twisted. We still need to vote him out. We need to have memory like an elephant. How he changed his executive order to help little Becky. How he don't want the true history of America taught in our schools. Um, how he support Ken the gangster Patson to file all those lawsuits earlier this year trying to overturn the election. Then he never said anything about Dan Patrick about putting up the $1 million bond out of his campaign fund, which I still feel like it's illegal. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but it's something fishy about that whole thing. So don't get it twisted. Get registered to vote now. For when the election come up, you don't have to try to get ready. Go ahead and make preparation and get ready now. And we'll send Greg Abbott a message, um, and we'll vote. We'll vote somebody else other than him in office. Then think about he want to send the kids back to school with the no mask mandate and stuff like that. Yeah, we need to make sure we keep all that fresh on his mind. Marcella Smith said we need our human rights reevaluated. If you take a life, no matter color or race or ethnic, you should punish to the fullest extent of the law. Taking a life is wrong, and you should pay accordingly. I agree with you. You should pay. Don't get me wrong, because uh, uh, don't get me wrong, because the thing is, that old saying, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You take a life, you do the crime, you gotta do it. Just like I'm still waiting for the woman that lied on Emmett Till to be charged. Why they saying they still investigating it? Sound like to me y'all waiting for the heifer to die. I know I said that. I take that back. Just in case there's some kids listening. I don't want y'all to do what Uncle Kirk Dog saying. Uh, but yeah. Um, yeah, I'm still waiting for the lady that lied on Emmett Till to be arrested before she died. Don't charge her after she dead and gone. It don't do no good then. That's why we need to teach our kids our history for they can know the truth. Because if we don't tell them the history, um, when we die, it'll go. Our history will die along with us. So it's very important that you teach your kids the true history of America, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Um, but yes, for um, Timothy Simpkins and his family, hey, it, I I understand you finna hit some tough times. You have hit some tough times, but and they're saying he's facing up to 20 years in jail. Um, I'm sure it's gonna be some time come out of it because it was at a school. It was illegal to have a gun on school property. So they're gonna charge him with something. He will do time on something, but also for the alleged the person that allegedly did the bullying, they looking at possible charges for them too, and especially the 15-year-old that was in that video of the fight. Uh, the police officer said he need to be held accountable, and it will be charges coming out with that too. So, bottom line is, if you know, and I'm talking to the kids this time because if you know that your so-called friends are bullying someone, speak up. Speak up. Tell them that's not right. Tell them it's not right. Um, and and um, if you have to, you may want to go ahead and say, "Hey, I'm not gonna stand by and let you do this to this kid, all because you don't like the way he dress, you don't like the way what he driving. It's not right. Take a stand on it." TCal said, "Yeah, such a sad story all around." Marcella said, "I think it's 5 years for firearm in a school zone. Don't quote me on it." Mike King, welcome to the show. Uh, where my boy Little Tim? I don't know. Which Tim are you talking about? I have no idea. Uh, as where is his boy Little Tim? Hey, um, you tell me. You might want to text him or something. I don't know. Uh, so I don't know. But welcome to the show while you're on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, click the notification, share it with a friend. Let them know that we are live. And you can chat live with us. And if you want to call in and uh, if you want to call us and talk to us about what's going on, feel free to do it. The number is 972-591-3665, 972-591-3665. But it's a couple of questions, a couple of house rules we have to follow. Number one, do not block your number. Number two, uh, don't be rude because we both had the rights to agree or don't agree. And if you're disrespectful, I'm gonna just hang up. That's all. Um, said sorry. He said he was here. Well, I don't know who Tim is. Help me out. Uh, tell Tim come on back. Tell him come on back and be a part of the show. Send him. Matter of fact, you should uh, share it with him to let him know that we talking about him. Tell Tim come on back. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog. We're talking about the Timberview shooting yesterday. Talking about bullying tonight because it seemed like this Timberview shooting happened because of a young man getting bullied at school. Um, Mainly because of the way that he dressed, the type of car he drive. When it's all said and done, it's about jealousy, from what I'm hearing and from what I've seen so far. It was all about jealousy. But also, in another bullying case, and now both of these are in the DFW area. Um, this happened during a sleepover, which is crazy. Deaf Millsap High School student beaten at sleepover, an alleged bullying incident. And they just announced that, um, I guess, within the last hour, they have made an arrest for it. Millsap and Parker County Sheriff Office are investigating an alleged bullying incident that left a student with severe injury. But Millsap High School seniors say he was bullied and beaten because he's deaf. Because he's deaf. His parents have spent nearly 2 weeks demanding justice. Senior Trent Irwin tell NBC5 he loves spending time with friends and family, but a sleepover with friends on September the 25th ended violently and um, left him with several injuries. Image from the night of the attack are disturbing. I did see the injuries, and it was pretty bad. Trent dad, Jeremy Irwin, say while Trent was asleep, other team decided to mess with him. He described videos from that night making that round on social media. Trent is laying there, plumb asleep, and he began to be slapped very hard upside his head multiple times. Jeremy Irwin said. Irwin said it's especially troubling because Trent is disabled. At night, he removed the processor that works um, with his implants to help him hear clearly. Without it, he is completely deaf. This boy was picked out of the room to be assaulted and bullied, said Jeremy Irwin. He said Trent tried to defend himself, and one of the teens started punching him, beat him to the point where his eye is swollen shut, his nose has been lodged to the side, his lip was busted. The family went to police, and while the investigation continued, the community rallied around the family using the hashtag Justice for Trent. Community members also held the silent protest Wednesday night in Trent honors. On Thursday, 12 days after the incident, the Parker County Sheriff announced it arrested a 17-year-old. Now the family attorney are doing their own investigation and may take action in civil court. They're questioning whether the adults involved, ranging from parents to the homeowner to school district leaders, should be held accountable in any way. We don't think this is an isolated event. I think this is a failure number of adults, said attorney Rolando de la Garza. Um, there's many other issues that are harm and loss to his life, and he left holding the bag, said attorney Brent King. Trent dad say holding other accountable may help stop future bullying. Trent hasn't been back to school and is doing his work from home until They figure out where he will finish his senior year. He will also undergo a few more medical procedures to help him heal. Trent say he is grateful the community is by his side for the road ahead. All the people helping me and helping me get through there. Very blessed, Trent Irwin said. Millsap released a statement saying the district is aware of the bullying allegation and working with law enforcement to investigate, which is crazy. It's crazy. Marcella said, children, please, if you know somebody who's getting bullied, please speak up. Exactly. Speak up because it could be you, the victim, and you will want someone to speak up for you too. So definitely speak up, no matter what. Speak up. Um, Marcella said, parents and adults, we have to do better. We bully each other over Democrat or Republican, vaccinated or unvaccinated. They're taking after us, and we're doing a good job. Exactly. It should not be a question about uh, political views, but everything today is political. But the problem is, kids are watching this. We have to break that chain. We have to, because you know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. You can play Russian roulette if you want to. If you want to take the vaccine, take it. If you don't, don't. But if you don't take it, get sick, may God bless you. If you take it, you get sick. Well, guess what? Um, Hopefully it don't happen, but it been proven that a lot of people do get sick who have had the vaccine. And there have been a couple of reports, some have passed away. But it should not be politics about everything. That's the society that we living in. If someone don't agree with someone, first thing they say, that's a Democrat uh, making decision making, or it's a Republican thinking. However, at the end of the day, whoever our leaders are, whatever decisions they make, we're gonna go, it's gonna affect each and every one of us if we like it or not. That's why I talk about voting so much on this show, because we have to make a decision. Stop looking at politics. Stop looking at um, political parties. Look at who's going to be best for you and your family. That's how you make your decision. That's how you do it. Because if you're only looking at, oh, they're a Democrat, I don't like them. Oh, they're Republican, I don't support them. But guess what? We're going to stay in this low circle that we're in now, arguing about Democrat and Republicans. And to be honest with you, they put all of them put their drawers on just like we do. But it's about who. I said I ain't gonna do that. It's about, it's basically who can bully who the most. And speaking of that, I wasn't even gonna even talk about this tonight, but I seen I believe it's in Virginia. Virginia. They have a political race going on up there. I believe it's for the mayor or the governor or something. But either way, they broke it down how they show these political puppets. They put a person like they're a puppet or whatever. But when it came down to the black candidates, they had them hanging up off the ground, unlike the white candidates. Then they actually had a rope going around their waist, unlike the white candidates. And then they even had flames around them, around the black candidates, unlike the white candidates. So they basically trying to use a stare tactic as if you elect this person, uh, this is what's gonna happen. This is what we're gonna do. Uh, Basically sending a message through these campaign ads. It's wrong. That's why America have the history that it have now of racism, for the simple fact it been like that for a long time, since America was stolen from Native Americans. We need to break that. We need to break it, and we need to call out what's wrong. That's why you have leaders like Greg Abbott want to get a border built, a border wall built, when he know he's getting ready to get voted out. He's only doing that to try to stay in office. That's why you had these other nine Republican governors come down to the border yesterday to join Greg Abbott to talk about this border wall. It's all a political stunt. We need to stop that. If you truly think about what these leaders are doing and go in with a clear mind, you will realize who's going to be for you and who's not going to be for you. But what we don't need is leaders like Greg Abbott. And what's the clown name in Florida? Yeah, help me out on that, all aboard. Uh, the governor in Florida, another one. They all fallen in the footstep of Trump. Trump never should have been elected. But because when that audio came out of him talking about grab a woman by the kitty cat, that should have been an assault. That should have made people say, no, we don't need a leader talking like that about a woman, disrespecting a woman. But unfortunately, it's a lot of guys disrespect their queens. We don't need leaders like that. That's where we need to make a difference. Look at the big picture of who's going to run the country the best. Right now, it's time to make a change. From the top up, all the way down to the bottom. Get registered to vote. Get registered to vote. TCal said, this is just sick, and my sister, we're just talking about this. We talked about how a student took his life last year to bullying. Just sad. It's sad. It's a sad situation. We're living in some sad times of jealousy. Because think about it. Let's change our TV shows. That's a problem right there, because here it is. We have all these rancid TV shows showing people fighting arguing about every little thing. Let's change those. Let's change them. Let's start putting back shows like the Cosby Show, um, Good Time, um, A Different World that was showing positive things. Let's cut out. Well, I think they already been canceled, but those yeah, you know, I don't want to say their name because I ain't promoting them. But all the ones that don't look like us, but they done had all the work done to look like a sister. Yeah, them, that family. Um, so yeah, cut out the wrenchiness. Put some positive things back on TV. That will start everything. TCal said, please speak up. Exactly. We need folks to speak up. If you know somebody who has been bullied, even you if you scared to speak up to the person that's doing the bully, you can still go to an administrator, go to your parents, let them know what's going on. Because if it was you, you would want someone to stand up for you. You will want someone to stand up for you. Um, Marcella said kids are paying the price of our ignorance as adults. So sad, Lord help. You're right, Marcellus. You are right. Um, I've told y'all a while back, I heard this song. Um, um, I'm trying to pull it up. Definitely go and download it because I did download it, and that's a shame. I got an iPhone, still don't know how to operate it. I want my Samsung back. Um, but I'm trying to find where the song is. I have it on here somewhere. But anyway, let me find the song, and hopefully y'all do take the opportunity and uh, support this young brother. He's local out of Dallas. Um, where's my song? Um, because I want to give you the name, and it's a real good, strong, positive song, which we need more of. We need to um, stop this madness of talking about shooting this, shooting that, uh, flinging this, flinging that, uh, the rap, and all of this. We need to start putting out more positive music because when I was coming up, the songs that we had, um, they was positive because they was talking about the stuff that we was dealing with um, on a regular base, and it was actually pretty good. Ruben Loud is his name. I'm sorry, ReubenLael. Um, Very good, positive song that I, when I heard him do it, I actually heard him doing it live at Sean Martin Go Go Party, and the song is very positive. I try to listen to it on a regular basis, and if I'm in the car, well, in my wife's car, when I plug my phone up, it'll start playing. So definitely listen to it, and go out and support this brother. Um, I don't care who you are. We're in a time of need. We're in a time of needing to do more positive things in the world. And this is a young local artist that is putting out good positive music. And I may get flagged for it. I don't know on the right to it. Freedom Channel, welcome to the show. No, I did not say support Anthony Simpkins. What I'm saying is that it appears what's going on is the young man had been bullied for a while at school. I'm not saying support him. I'm saying that if you've been bullied and the school is not helping, sometimes your back is up against the wall. Now, what I did also say, he was wrong for what he did. He was wrong for taking a gun up to the school, and he will have to pay for that. He will get some time behind that because it's illegal to take a firearm up to the school. And then depends on where he got the gun from. Because if the gun come out stolen, well, I'm not saying it was stolen, but if it did come back stolen, that could be another charge added to it. And then it really depends on where he got the gun from because um yesterday I talked about the fact that um I believe it was the FBI or somebody had said they was gonna find out exactly where this gun came from. Now, when it been mass shootings across the world, they never say, I'm gonna find out exactly where this gun came from. Mainly because they didn't know, they already knew it came from the house, from the parent house. But as for Timothy, that's not, they don't know where it came from. You can definitely call in. Call in, just a couple of rules. Be respectful. Do not block your number. You can definitely call in, and we can have an open discussion about it. So 972-591-3665. It also strolling across the top up there, and you can definitely call in. We can have a chat about it, and the phone line is open whenever you want to call. So definitely um, let me make it easy for you to see the number. And yeah, but we could definitely discuss. It's a sad situation because I feel, I don't know this young man. I feel that this could have been avoided because the reports that are coming out, it been many reports reporting of him being bullied at school. And yesterday it came out that he could probably will possibly rob at the school, uh, jealousy, because of the way he dressed and also the type of car he drove. Um, so it's a lot plays along with that. And unfortunately, it's a sad situation. It's definitely a sad situation. Um, but yeah, phone lines are always open. Yeah, you can always call in. We can have open discussion about it. And just um, say your name when you call. Please do not block your number. That's all I ask. I'm not going to be calling you back. Don't block your number. Um, and the reason why I do that, because we have some folks that call and want to say things that is unreal and racist, so we don't deal with that.
Friedman. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Welcome to Speak on It. Hold on real quick.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Hold on real quick. Let me do this real quick. You're listening to Speak on It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog. Starting third session with Anchor.fm. Okay, Freeman, go ahead. You said you wanted to chat about this situation. It's all open. You had a microphone.
Well, okay. How you doing today, first of all, man?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Just kind of hanging, relaxing, and waiting on this weekend to come, man.
Man, you too.
I know that. Man, I didn't have nothing specific to say. I just kind of, wanted to have a verbal dialogue with somebody concerning this, because it don't seem like too many. I mean, yeah, you go on social media, they're talking about it, but like, where I'm at, ain't nobody really talking about it, right? So, all right, now the kid was getting bullied, apparently. I haven't read all the articles. I've just collected some information, some details from some people that have been reading articles, right?
Yes.
From my understanding, 18-year-old kid getting bullied at school because of whatever reason kids bully other kids, and fight breaks out. Kid loses the fight. Kid goes home or goes wherever, grabs a gun, comes back, shoots up whoever.
Well, it didn't happen quite like that.
Okay, break it down. Go ahead and refresh me if you don't mind.
Okay.
And everybody else, I guess.
So a fight did happen. I seen the video of the fight, and and at some point, right after the fight or during the fight, they not sure when, but he grabbed the orange bag and grabbed the .45 caliber gun and started firing shots. Now, I seen a video yesterday that a young lady was in class, and she just so happened to be recording, and I heard at least 6 shots that was fired. So he didn't leave the school to get a gun and come back. He actually had it with him.
He had it with him?
Yes. It was in his bag.
Oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about these kids, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. It's hard to think about, man. Like, whatever.
It's hard to say anything because we really don't know what a child mind is thinking of. And unfortunately, because the society we live in today, instead of talking about issues, people prefer to pull out a gun. And
now, why do you think it's okay? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What do you think is why is the reaction so quick for the gun? Like, Oh, here's the question that I want to ask you. Here's the question, and it doesn't matter about anything. I'm just curious. Do we know, like, the ethnicity of the kid that he was fighting that triggered him?
They both was black. They both was black.
They both was black?
Yes.
Okay.
And the 15-year-old, the police announced that he can possibly be facing charge also because of the fight.
Okay. Now, I heard some other details, and I don't know, maybe you've heard of this too, from alternative sources, because I don't think it's been in official stories, but I heard that it had to do with something over the kid that fought the 15-year-old kid. Apparently his older brother had bought some stuff from Simpkins, or stole either bought. I think stole something. I don't know. Had you heard anything about stolen items
I haven't
from
heard
kids?
anything about it. Now, yesterday a story came out that said that they believe he been robbed at the school before. So I I really don't know the truth. More and more information is going to come out as they continue to do their investigation. Um, Now, you asked earlier why are kids so quick to go to the
Yeah,
point of pulling guns. I
yeah,
don't know what age range you are in, but I know for me, back when I was coming up, if we had an issue with someone, we put a stick on our shoulder, tell the person you bad, knock it off, and we probably go around a circle about 45 minutes before somebody on the outside come up and knock it off. But if we got into a fight with someone, once the fight was over, we continue to be friends.
and you know what? It seems like it seems like things used to be simpler. Not even that much. Not even that much longer ago. Like I'm 28, and I've been in public school my whole life in California. And granted, California's gun laws are way more strict than Texas gun laws. But I mean, yeah, we've had fights plenty of times. So I mean, I just never saw nobody. Now I have heard stories recently where people have lost fights or whatever, um, gotten upset about something small and ended up shooting, killing somebody. I've heard those stories more like in the
Yes,
last, like since I left high school. But when I was in school, that kind of more like kids fought, whatever. Find a secluded place after school, whatever. That'd be that. And then, but nobody was ever even thinking about pulling a firearm, bringing a firearm, or anything like that. Um, that was just never even a part of the conversation. So I don't know what it is with the. What do you think it is? What would be? I mean,
I'm a
what's your best idea? Your best
I'm gonna
guess?
say what really have changed, and let me answer this question real quick from Amazing Grace. As why didn't the
Okay.
teacher call 911 or someone during the fight? Well, the teacher, if you watch the video, she's because they're supposed to monitor these classrooms, and she's giving out a code. I would assume it's a code for help. She kept yelling for help, saying she need help, and she kept giving out a code. Now they don't want teachers to actually have their phones on, just like they don't want the kids to have their phones on during classroom time. So I would assume she was hollering at these code for another teacher can help. That's how Mr. Petty actually got shot because he came to help break up the fight, the 25-year-old. He's a teacher. He came to help break up the fight. So he did hear her. And also, that teacher is pregnant. So she probably didn't have her phone near her at the time. I don't know. I wasn't there, but hopefully that answered your question, Amazing Grace. Um, but Freeman, I think what's going on now, um, and I'm gonna do it like this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what changed? Because the thing, whatever we feed our mind with, you have video games that have violence in it. You have songs that have violence in it, talking about selling drugs, um, doing all these things. Now I'm gonna play the other side also, because when I was coming up, we heard about NWA, but the NWA was talking about stuff that they was experiencing. But now today, so many rappers are talking about gangster stuff, but they never experienced. Some of them have, but a lot of them never lived that lifestyle. So it's the music, it's what's feeding my mind, it's making you think like that, thinking that you have a pistol, oh, you're invisible, you could do this, you could do that, but they don't put in these songs about the consequences if you go out here and do these type of things, where it can lead you to. And then we have movies also, that movies, reality shows that are doing all these type of things, feeding our kids' mind. That is basically poison the mind of our young people, and some older folks too, because there's some older folks that believe in some of this stuff too. And so
Hmm. Yep.
that's my personal opinion. I believe it started in the mind. I once heard a pastor,
Mm.
Pastor Marcus D. King, he here in Dallas, he actually said that what you listen to the first thing in the morning is going to set the tone of your day. And
Mm.
he said, if you're getting up listening to um, smooth selling, some nice songs, spiritual song, whatever type of song. But if you're getting up listening to gangster rap first thing in the morning, that's gonna
Right.
set the tone of your day. And that's where the
Mm.
problem is. It's our music. And a lot of the record labels are forcing the rappers to put out that type of music. And it's making them make a decision between, do I make this money, put
Mm.
out this type of music, make this money, or not make this money?
Right. Well, I'm gonna bring something up real quick because you said something about what you talking. So basically, to you, it's the media that seems to perpetuate this type of behavior, this type of culture, huh?
I think they play a big part of it, because normally when something happened in the black community, they're gonna make it sound it's gonna be bad, but they're gonna make it sound so much worse. And they always gonna find one of the worst people, the person that is dressed the worst, that have the less education, that cannot talk properly. They're gonna have those people. They're gonna interview those folks before they interview someone that is dressed nice or can hold a conversation with them.
Oh no, no, not that part. I meant sorry. I meant like so you think it's like more not the media as far as like news media, but like just entertainment. I should say. Is it more the entertainment, whether it be music, whether it be the music, whether it be the movies, whether it's radio or or video games?
I
That all the entertainments all together kind of perpetuate this type of behavior, not just amongst minority kids, but it's not games and music stuff just for a certain group of kids, but everybody has access to these things.
Yeah,
So do you think that is what? Do you think that it sounds like the entertainment is what you think is driving kind of that behavior, huh?
that's
And I
part
agree
of
with
it.
you.
That's part of it. But also,
What would the other part be? You think?
parents need to raise their kids and stop letting the street raise their kids.
Okay.
Because
Can you
unfortunately,
break?
go ahead.
I was saying if you could just go into that a little bit more. I'm over here learning from you. I'm listening to you.
Because the thing is, reason why I say that, because unfortunately, that old saying they used to make jokes about, babies having babies. Well, a lot of time it's a lot of young kids that have kids that don't have the experience of raising a child, because they was a child when they had that child, and now instead of being a parent, they becoming friends with them. They go
Mm,
drink,
okay.
smoke, everything they do together. So parents need to raise their kids more. Now, I'm not saying all parents, because some parents have to get out here and work 2 or 3 jobs,
Right, right.
and
Doing their best.
yeah, they doing their best, because even my mom, she was a single parent, raised 4 kids, and we we had to step up. Um, we all learned how to cook. Um, Mama, she did everything else. We took made sure the house was in order. So
let me bring this back up. Oh, go ahead.
but bottom line, we were scared of our mama too, because no matter if we didn't do our chores, we wouldn't sleep without doing our chores. We got woke up when she got home. So
I hear you on that. I hear you on that. That is a big part. I don't think kids were scared of their parents like they used to be.
exactly.
Because you remember it used to be, shoot, don't take me home. If I get in trouble, don't take me. If I get arrested, take me to jail. I don't want to go. I don't want to go home. If I ever get arrested, take me to jail because it's gonna be worse when I go see my mom.
Exactly.
That's funny. But do you remember? And this just kind of made me think when you brought up the entertainment. Now I remember, like I said, I'm 28, so I I I was shown like a documentary back in I was like in 7th or 8th grade, man. So this was in 2005, 2006. Okay, and in this documentary, you know, it's kind of just talking about what you were talking about, you know, music, how it's influencing kids, and you know what it's actually showing, kind of the subliminal messaging inside music, and all this kind of stuff. You know, eye-opening stuff to me. Like I said, this was 2005 or 2006 or so, and I was in 7th or 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
So I'm listening to this, I'm watching this, and the part of this documentary had these old clips of moments where churches and stuff were getting together and they were actually crushing hip hop CDs. Do you remember that time?
Yes,
When they were
Reverend Al
trying to
Sharpton
destroy hip hop records?
yeah, Reverend Al Sharpton and a lot of leaders got up and uh, they were. It wasn't just them, but it was also some of the white community that was banning a lot of them, like NWA when they came out with F the Police. Um, but they was listening to the song, but they wasn't necessarily listening to what caused that song. Because and I'm gonna be honest, when they came out with Straight Outta Compton, the movie, that opened my eyes up to a lot more, because it's certain rap groups I was raised on, but I also knew it gave me a better view of what the struggle they went through, like NWA.
Okay,
Um,
that makes sense.
it is definitely, they wasn't making stuff up. They was talking about the life that they was dealing with on a daily basis.
Right.
That's the reality of it. And I still feel like Ice Cube one of the best rappers around. That's just me. Um,
So if you don't mind me asking, what artists, what type of artists, or should I say, what examples of artists were you kind of listening to? Um, you know, would you say, I guess maybe you got an impact on you, or you just like listening to?
Talking about growing up or today?
Just growing up, you know, just
Growing up,
back in your day.
growing up, my mom, she would play um, a lot of gospel around the house. So I grew up on Reverend James Cleveland, Pastor Shirley Caesar, Aretha Franklin. She played those all the time, especially when we was cleaning the house on the weekend. We didn't have a choice but to listen to them. But also, um, she used to play. Um, Back then, you can get a little bit of everything on KKBA, which is K104 today. But back then, they played a little bit of everything. We didn't have all these different radio stations. So we would hear like Johnny Taylor, Teddy Pendergraft, Marvin Gaye, stuff like that, because I'm I listened to them growing up, and it's so many more Commodores, just all those old group, because to me that was kind of telling us things that was going on, like uh, what's going on.
Right,
Wake
right,
up,
right.
everybody. So that was music that had a meaning behind it during that time. Now today, I listen to a little bit of everything. Just depends on the mood I'm
Right.
in. I
Yeah.
li-
Understood.
yeah, I listen to blues. I love blues. I love gospel. Um, love old school rap. Um, Today rap, I might listen to a couple of songs, but I don't know the words to them. I just love the beat.
All right. So I'm asking you a lot of questions
No,
here.
no, it's cool.
Um,
It's cool.
all right, all right. So coming back to the situation that happened, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. Coming back to the situation at hand. What what is the? Cause this is not the first time that we've seen school shootings.
No.
Um, this is not the first time that there's been. I mean, this also kind of speaks to a bigger issue that that we kind of have. When I say we, I'm talking about skin folk,
Yes.
right? And once again, obviously, like you just named some things like some fundamental, basic, not basic, but I guess traditional kind of things or foundational things. Like you said, you mentioned cleaning the house on the weekend, listening to gospel music.
Yeah.
That is a concept that is so foreign. Cleaning the house, first of all, just cleaning the house alone on the weekend, listening to gospel music, like we are so far removed from what you're talking about.
But we didn't have a
And it
choice.
hasn't been that long.
Mm.
Well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even with the parents, there ain't, I mean, not saying that there ain't no more, but, like I said earlier, I don't think kids by and large, especially in like, in certain areas, certain situations, I'm not saying all of them like that, but from what I'm seeing on the put out, it don't seem like the respect level or even the fear level is there from their parents. You know what I'm saying?
I agree
So
with you.
yeah, and it just seems that way. Um, and I guess because it kind of projects itself when these some of these kids come out into the public, and got to be around everybody else. There's been, I guess, countless kind of examples of it, but it's kind of what I wanted to ask you. Like, what do you think? Like, does race have anything to do with this situation? Because it seems like somehow, like, it comes back to a racial issue, and I think that's kind of what's been causing like a little flare in the conversation around this. You know?
Well, as for a racial issue, this was a black on black crime. Um, but I feel because that officer said, we're going to find out exactly how he got this gun in his hand. Where did it come from? Now, here's the difference between this school shooting and other school shooting. This one, he basically was targeting one person, someone who just beat him. The other one, they didn't care who they shot. They were
You said the
randomly
other one?
shooting people. I'm saying, as for other mass shootings, other school shooting,
Oh, gotcha.
they didn't care who
Gotcha.
they shot. They just shot anybody who they seen. So
But let me
that's
ask you, does that really matter?
it. In a sense, it
Like on
does, and I'm gonna explain why. Because he only
okay.
was, I would assume, I don't know this young man, but from what, as more stuff coming out, he only was targeting the person that just attacked him.
Right.
Now, as for the other school shooting, they never asked where did the guns come from. They want to know exactly how they got the gun because 9 times out of 10, they already knew it came from the house with them.
Oh, you're saying that 9 times out of 10, the gun came from inside of the home of the shooter,
Yes,
of the
the
other
other
shooter?
shooters. Yes.
Okay.
So, but with this young man, they don't
Why
know
would they
where.
figure that? I wonder why they would figure that.
Well, because most mass shooting, it was done with a gun that was already in the house. I think all of them pretty much had. They got it from home. Got the guns from home. Either they
Okay,
purchased the
okay.
gun or they used their parents' guns.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
but in this
Okay, so they.
situation, he only was trying to target the person that just attacked him. And that's the difference between the two. He wasn't just trying to randomly shoot people. He was targeting the person that just beat him.
Okay. So, and then that has to do with race. You were going to tell me how that had to do with race.
Well, as for the racial part, it's because of what the officer said. We need to know how this gun got in his hand. Where did he get it from? We're gonna get to the bottom of it and all of this. For me, that's kind of like, I guess, in a sense, black folks don't have guns. I shouldn't have guns. The
You
way
said they
that the
shouldn't or
story
they don't?
the way that the story was written, that's what it came
Right.
across to me.
Oh, okay. So you were saying the way that the cop said what he said, it insinuated that black folks wouldn't have have a
In
firearm
a
or
sense,
own a firearm.
yeah. Where this gun come from? We need to get to the bottom. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
everything I can to find out where exactly did he get this gun from. But they never
Right.
said
I
that
got
when
you.
it had anything to do with other mass shooting, Columbine, the movie theater up in Boulder, Colorado, I believe it was, the elementary school that was shot several years ago. They never asked that question. How did this
Okay, because
person
the
get
other
the
dude was
gun?
white.
Yes.
Because the other shooters in public areas was white, and so they figured that they can bypass the investigation of the firearm because they white and they probably own it. So they don't have to really make a stink out of the gun part. They just got to deal with what he did with the gun. As
Exactly.
opposed with this kid, they want to go a step further and find out, pinpoint where he got the gun, assuming that it wasn't his, or assuming
Exactly.
that it's stolen or something like that.
And to
Now,
be, go ahead.
do you think that the police have a reason? Do you think that they have any type of logical reason for, and I don't know. I'm sure this might be this cop's first time even having a conference on a public school shooting like this. In front of all the cameras, everybody wondering what you gonna say. And, this might be his first time dealing with one of these situations on live TV. So it might have just been what he said. You know what I mean?
Well,
Or what he was thinking about. Like,
it was written
it's
in
in
a
the school.
report, but it was I want to say it was an FBI agent.
Oh, okay. Federal agent. Okay.
Yeah. So it was either FBI or ATF, one of the two. Um,
He
okay.
said we're gonna figure out where this gun came from. Well, if it was the FBI or the ATF, especially the ATF. I mean, that makes sense why he would say that, because he's ATF. That's his job. And then it's the cop's job too. It's all the law enforcement's job to trace a gun if they need to figure it out. But it would be good for the kid at least if it is his personal gun, right? That would be better than if it was a stolen gun or a ghost gun or something like that, huh?
I'm hoping that the gun was purchased legally, because Texas
Right.
did just change the law where anybody can purchase a gun. I believe it's 21, but don't quote me on that. It could be 18 on our governor. Hold on real quick, because this segment for the end. Hold on real quick.
Okay.
You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm Who You With Kurt Dog with segment 4 on Anchor.fm. Now, with our governor, we just went into law saying that You don't have to, long as you pass the background check, you can purchase
Mhm.
firearms. I'm thinking for handgun, you may have to be 21, but don't quote me on that. But they made it
Okay.
easy to have access to guns. And who
Okay.
knows, he could have purchased it legally. Now, someone also made a statement. Welcome to the show, Teddy B. Boppin, K. There's so much a person could take if you rob him, and he got his get back. Now he the bad guy because he was tired of what was happening. Um, Now Teddy B. Boppin, hopefully you can tell us a little bit more. I've heard that he was robbed. I did mention that earlier in the show. He was robbed at the school, um, and he was bullied a lot. And that's why I asked the question at the beginning of the show, that Timberview High School failed Mr. Simpkins for the simple fact they could have done more, because I heard yesterday it was a lot of talk about him being bullied, and if that's the case, the school should have done more to prevent that. Either talking with the other student parent, maybe that could have stopped it, and we wouldn't be talking about him today. So I think a lot of that plays a part in it. And I understand if it's only so much a person can take before they do snap. If you going into a place all the time, someone abusing you, uh, doing all these things to you, taking things you work hard for, someone or your loved one gave it to you, and you're taking advantage of that, at some point you're going to say enough is enough. But I hope the school did everything they could do to protect them, but right now I don't see that. So I understand your comment, and hopefully everything work out. Now the only bad part about it, that I see that he's going to be held accountable, is for taking that firearm to school and using it at the school. Now
Mhm.
he may get other charges dropped, but that would be what they not going to be able to drop. He may get probation. I don't know. So um, same thing.
Am I still
So,
on?
yes, yes, you still on. You still on. She's making a comment. Said, "What if it had led to Timothy taking his own life?" That's what we don't need to do, and that's what the school should have been preventing, because we hear about so many kids taking their life from being bullied, and we should never have that. We need to have something in place to prevent these type of things. Communication with this other parent, and the parents have to step in and be a part of
Yeah.
this and correct their kids when they are wrong. Because yes, Timothy could have actually taken his life. I'm glad he didn't. I just hate the fact of what he did at the school. It's not right for him to be bullied. Do I feel that the school protected him? No, I don't. I feel the school should have done more to protect him from this, because the school statement was, we investigate every bully case as they come in, but that was all they will say. Now, what type of action they done? Apparently, they didn't take enough action, because it led to this fight. And there's another thing for our young folks that are tuning in. We have to get away from this no snitch rule. If someone is attacking you, violating you, speak up. Speak up. Talk about it. Tell somebody. Hell, if you need to, call me. I will report it. But don't just sit back and hold all this in. It's like a pipe with pressure on it. At some point, it's gonna bust. And this is what happened with Tim. From the reports I've read, this is what happened with Timothy. I'm sorry about that, Freedom. I like to answer questions for people to know that we are live, so they wouldn't think I'm just looking over them. On this show, we communicate what I guess as it happened, and also we only want to speak truth on this show. That's it. We're not gonna assume. We're not gonna have conspiracy theory. Um, she said a lot of school doesn't do things when someone get bullied. That is why it leads a lot of kids taking their life. At that point, I would tell any parent that if your child is being bullied, make our tax dollars work for you. Make a police report. Go to school board meetings. Make it known. For it won't be no excuse. Make it known. Do it the right way. That's why it's important that we go to our school board meeting. We go to our city council meeting. Make it known. Make sure they know exactly who you are. That can make a difference. And also make sure you are registered to vote, because that's the first thing they're going to look at. Are they registered to vote? Because now you register to vote, the leaders are going to listen to you because you coming to them with a problem. And if they don't want to listen to you, you have a voice to keep them out of office, just like we're going to do Greg Abbott next year. But so I feel for what this young man is going through. And matter of fact, if you know him, let his parents know. Yeah, because I'm sure it's weighing on him. Get him some counseling. Get him some counseling. If they need a counselor, I know several great counselors that have been on the show in the past. They will be willing to work with them, and it's confidential. So definitely, if you know them, ask them to get them some counseling. Matter of fact, they all would need some. Um, Marcella Smith said most teachers don't have the love for children at schools like they used to when I was in school. Teachers now are in only for the paycheck. That's a fact. A lot of them are. But then there's a lot of great school teachers too. My niece is one. So yes, a lot of them are. But it's a lot of terrible out there. But sorry about that. Freedom had a lot of comments to come in, but definitely
that's good. That's good. That's good coming in.
One thing that we're gonna do on this show, that if we don't know something, we let you know up front. We're not sure. We need to research on it. A lot of time on the show, we do stop what we're doing, and you'll hear us tapping on the keyboard. Normally on Thursday night, my co-host is here, but she was under the weather today, Miss Risky. Hoping you feel better, for you can be back next Thursday. But while we're here, we like to bring facts only. We don't deal with conspiracy theory, and we love for y'all to interact with us. And trust me, I have some followers. If I'm unable to research stuff, it's some followers that been following the show for a long time. They will research it if I don't get a chance to, and they will put it in the comment. So that's one thing that we do about this show, is speak truth, and that's it. Marcella said, because we are the people show. Our slogan is, we only deal in facts. You're right, Marcellus. That's all we deal with. We don't do the conspiracy stuff. So, but what part of, if you don't mind me asking, what part of California are you in?
Oh, I'm no longer in California. I grew up there, born and raised there in Central California,
Okay.
Fresno area.
What state are you in now?
Oh, I'm in Georgia now. I'm in Gwinnett County in Georgia.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I done been around a little bit. Moved from the west over to the east to the south, and I'm loving it, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm loving the south. I'm loving everything about it. Loving the weather. Loving the people, man. I've met nothing but very nice people. And yeah, I really enjoy it.
But that's cool.
But hey, I did look. Excuse me.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You did what?
I looked up that just so we could have some definitive. I looked up that legal age of the new gun law
Yes.
in Texas. So according to this is the guides texas.gov. So this is Texas Law Library. It says that the new law took effect on September 1st, 2021.
Yep.
And that law allows individuals 21 and older who can legally possess firearms in this state to carry handguns in public places without permits. Section 2 says that persons who are currently prohibited from possessing firearms under state and federal law will not gain the right to possess or carry a firearm under this legislation. So you still got to have your nose clean. As long as you're clean, then you can have your firearm and defend yourself. Now he will get in trouble for this because it's 21.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna get much slack on the legalization or the legitimacy of him having the gun, especially on campus property. That's gonna be very hard for his lawyer.
Excuse me.
But there's other factors into it. But as far as the gun part, the law was absolutely broken on that one. But I heard you say something. I heard you mention about it seems like a lot of people, and I'm talking about this in a very nuanced way. I'm just standing on one side of the fence, kind of peeking over and seeing what's going on as I see it happening, right? And I'm just asking certain questions, okay? So I see a lot of people on social media, especially, they're having the conversation about, it's either they're having the conversation completely about, the kid being the victim of bullying and, just bullying across the board, having things stolen from him, being picked on, whatever. These kids pick on each other different nowadays. Shoot, you're not just gonna get a swirly in the bag. You're not about to get a wedgie or nothing. They're not just gonna trip you or nothing. You talking about when you're getting bullied and in our community, it's a little bit rougher.
Yes, it is.
It's a little bit rougher when you're getting nobody's just taking your lunch or anything like that, taking your lunch money. Usually it's a little bit rough. They're talking about your girlfriend, talking about your mama, talking about, all kinds of stuff. So I hear a lot of people kind of talking about the kid being bullied and saying, I'm glad he didn't take his own life. It kind of behooves me to not really hear those same people say not they're not saying, but it seems like they're sympathizing more with the shooter than the victims.
Well,
and that just behooves me.
Yeah, it's kind of like what outweighs what.
Either of them were so much in the wrong. I just feel like it doesn't need to be so polarizing to where people can't see the full picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I understand that because even last night I was like, you know what? And I still say today he was wrong for having a gun at the school for his action. But then as more and more come out, say for instance, if it comes out and his parents have filed hundreds of complaints of being bullied, And kind of like
Right.
what Teddy B. Bop and K just said, that um, at some point, a person going to get tired of being bullied. And I don't know how many reports, or if any reports, been complaining to the school and all of this, but they say if it
Right.
comes out, there've been hundreds of them, and the school didn't do anything about it, the school failed. And I would say on that situation, it's a slim chance he might, just might, get off with a slap on the hand. Because if it's a paper trail of everything that have happened to him, they're gonna take all that in consideration.
Yeah, agree. I agree. Oh my God, that is wild to me. Like, I think it's just wild that it got to that point. You know that it's just crazy that it got to that point. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
all the people that were affected that had nothing to do with the situation at all. You know what I mean? Nothing at all to do with the situation. And that kid, man, that whoever kid was, I don't know if that kid was the one that was always bullying him or if it was other kids. But man, I just really feel bad that like the kid was getting bullied. I mean, unless he was participating too. I mean, just to completely say he was being bullied would make it seem as if the other kid had never done anything wrong or never done anything to aggravate or exacerbate a situation, which I don't know that. I don't go to the school. I'm not a student there. I'm not a staff member there. But it would be unfortunate if this kid had never done anything to these people, had never spoken anything ill against them, had never done anything. But more from, just growing up, more than likely it might have been a feud between these kids. And I'm not saying 100% because I don't know. But we have not heard that part, like, hey, were these kids ever going back and forth? Was this kid simply just being targeted and bullied every single day just because he could afford, his family was, middle class, like just because he had some nice things, like it ain't like he balling and driving a Ferrari to school, like parents went to work and they worked hard, like
Yeah.
It just doesn't really make so much sense that this kid was just getting beat up on camera, and then he turns around and does what he does, and kind of all of a sudden it goes back, not all of a sudden, but it goes. The excuse is the bullying. Not saying excuse like it's not gonna, like it can't trigger somebody, but I'm saying I guess the fact that it's being like the bullying is being focused. I guess that is what triggered it. That is what triggered the whole situation. The reason why we're talking about it is because it was triggered by whatever bullying was going on prior to the actual fight that broke out. It would be good to know those details. You know what I mean? Like, to read the story, I guess, to read a whole book on, what this kid was going through on day to day, what his stuff was like, his activities, and what the other kids were saying to him. But I don't know. It's just crazy to me, man. The whole thing is crazy to me. The fact that kids are shooting at each other at such a high rate. It just makes me wonder, man. It makes me wonder, like, what the future is going to hold for these kids when they grow up and they start having children.
Exactly.
Because at this point, we shooting up everything, man. And this is just an example of. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to say this before I forget. This is just one incident on one day in one city in one state, But I get on the media, I get on YouTube, and I see these stories multiple times every day. multiple times over and over again, and they're much more tragic. They're much more horrifying. They're much more senseless and reckless. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's definitely interesting because I have I'm finding out more information while we're talking also. So that's definitely interested on a lot of things because that's going to be one of the biggest things. If it comes down to the fact that it been many reports made of bullying and the school did not protect him, I personally do not feel he's going to get the time that they're trying to give him. And even listening to his attorney talk, she's comfortable. Well, she seems like she's comfortable with this case because she even talked about the bullying that went on. And unfortunately, with some administration, I'm not going to say all because I know a lot of people that is in the school system and they love their kids, each and every one of them. And then you have some teachers, kind of like what Marcella Smith said, that they end up they there to get a paycheck. They don't care what happened. So so this is going to be very interesting to find out what's what, and hopefully um, this young man gets some help because this is going to deal with him for a while. It's going to deal with him not only because of what he went through yesterday, but he's going to deal with this every day of his life. And that's where he's going to need some help at, some guidance. And um, so hopefully you did take the time to subscribe to the show and share it with your friends because we're live. Whenever most shows we do at 8 o'clock is normally live Sunday through Thursday. Matter of fact, I see you already subscribed. I appreciate it. And if your channel is not private, I will follow you back. So if it's private, I won't be able to follow you back, but I will follow you back if it's not private. And also, Marcella said, he said a couple of things. That's why parents should start back being nosy in their kids' lives. We got to get back to being more strict. If I was bullying a kid in school, my grandma would make me apologize in front of everybody. I got my butt tore up. I ain't gonna even lie. I had a friend growing up named Tim. We lived in this apartment complex, played together, hung out together, walked to school together, walked home together. But family came over one weekend, and I act funny. And me and Tim got into a fight. My mama gave me a choice. She said either I'm gonna whoop your butt, you go out there and apologize, or you stand in here for the rest of the day and you still going out there and apologize. I said, well, I'll stay in here. That lasted for about 7.5 minutes. I went ahead and took the whoop and went out there and apologized, and we finished playing because she didn't play that. She did not play that. She was like, nope. So my mom, just like your grandmother, they from old school. And he said that my grandmama did not play. Oh, did not play. She would whoop me in front of the class, and that what broke me. So we need to get back to that. And I feel we do because I know growing up, if you did something in the neighborhood and one of your neighbors seen you, oh, they tore you up right then and there. And then by the time you got home, they don't call it your mama. And when you got home, you got another whooping. But in today's society, we have parents that are fighting folks when they say something to their kids or correct their kids. When you see young kids on social media doing grown-up stuff and you have the grown-ups laughing about it, that's part of the issue. Then when someone correct the child for getting smart with a grown person, don't be talking to my child. Don't be saying that. Don't say nothing to them. I'll whoop your ass. See, we don't need that. That's babies raising babies. That's what it comes down to. Babies raising babies. And we need to get back to the way it was. That's kind of like, even though my mom worked uh, a lot, I think we went to church. Of course, we went on Sunday as a family. Monday night, I forgot what it was. Uh, Tuesday night, I think it was choir rehearsal. Wednesday night was Bible study. Now, take it, my mom was not at home during the week. So we didn't have a choice. If that deacon called and said, hey, your kids didn't come to church tonight, mama got home, we got our butt tore up. So she didn't play. And then if we act the fool while we was at church, the deacon tore us up. Then mama tore us up when we got home. So they didn't play. She did not play about it. And that's what we need today. We need to bring back discipline our kids and bring back prayer in schools. Ever since they took prayer out of school, I think it went downhill from there. And so,
can I say something on that?
Sure.
That's a good point. That's a good point, man. So, and that kind of brings into politics, don't it? Because, like, they vote on this stuff, and you vote to take it out, or you vote to, to keep it in, or however it goes, right?
Yeah. It's all political.
Now, okay. Now, I mean, yes, separation of church and state. We got such a diverse demographic here in the States now. I mean, you definitely don't expect everybody to practice, the same religion, right? That would be absurd to think that everybody practices the same religion. So, I guess in the order of, or in the name of equity and being fair and all those things, like, I guess they felt like it was right to take out, prayer, that, communicates to a certain, to a certain religion or a certain religion, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Prayer, Judeo-Christian prayer, as opposed to, that's what we would normally have in the state, in this country, is Judeo-Christian prayer to, to the God of the Bible. And I feel like people have taken that to offense or felt like it's not right. Because once again, it's very diverse. But there are certain politicians that have advocated for such things, and they want to change the way that, that God is represented in this country. Like, have you ever seen I'm about to be out of your way pretty soon, man. I just wanted to get to the last couple comments out. But who was the guy, one of the politicians, I forget what his name was. It wasn't Clyburn. Was it Clyburn? When he went up there and did the prayer and said, like, amen and amen. Was you there? Remember hearing that?
I remember somebody said something because I think he made the comment it wasn't right for a woman to pray. If it wasn't him, it was somebody else. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Hold on real quick. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I am Who You With Kurt Dog. We're talking about the shooting that happened at Timberview High School yesterday on Anchor.fm. This is segment 5. All right. Sorry about that. I think he
Mm-hmm.
made a comment about a woman wanted to pray, and he said it wasn't right or something, or some politician gave it a big fuss. And I'm like, no, I know some powerful uh, female preachers that were preach the horn off of a billy goat. So um, so it's certain people. That's the difference. Some people feel like a woman cannot lead a church. I feel like they can.
Mm-hmm.
Long as they are speaking the word truthfully, yes, they can lead a church. And shout out to Reverend Susan Stevens. When I first met her, her and Reverend Monica, I could be on one end of the church, um, and I'm coming down the hallway. I could hear them in the back room praying with somebody and talking about the word of God. Yes. And I thank God for Dr. Frederick D. Haynes III, the senior pastor of Friendship West Baptist Church, for trusting, for being diverse, to have um, females on the staff that could also preach too, and having that diverse, because a lot of people feel like a woman shouldn't be up in the pulpit. But
why do you think they feel like that? Why do you feel? Why is that a stance? Why do you think that's a stance? Because they just hate women, or where do they get that from?
Well, that's basically from in the old days, because how most uh, back in the old days they felt like a woman's job was the kitchen and the bedroom. Well, it's a new day and time. A woman can do just They can do just about anything a man can do. They can do everything a man can do if they put their mind to it. And it's a lot of great female preachers out here that can do the same thing as a man, that can move the house just like a man. So I just feel like a person that feels that way, they have a closed mind. They feel like it's a man's world. But James said it the best. It don't mean nothing without a woman. So, um, so I've always believed that um, everybody have that same option. Whether if you're a male or a female, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay.
Now that's my
Yeah,
opinion.
I don't have no stance on. Yeah, I don't have no stance on it really. I mean, growing up in church, I guess I didn't really see nothing. I wouldn't have never seen anything wrong with it. Although I have only had male pastors, but I mean, obviously there was always a first lady, and she would get up there and say her things every once in a while, but she wouldn't preach. I mean, not that she wouldn't preach, but she wouldn't um, head the congregation, if that makes sense. But that's just my experience. I've never been under um, a woman pastor, so I don't really have any stance on that. But I was just kind of curious kind of where that idea kind of came from, where people thought that women should not be preaching in church. And I've heard the argument, the debate back and forth and everything. But it's just kind of interesting. I just wanted to see what you thought on that. I want to give you something to look up though, because this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the influence that media and entertainment has on our youth and our generation. So I kind of wanted to give you something interesting that I had found a while ago and I read.
Oh, okay.
And you might want to write it down, or you look it up real quick, and you could find it, so save it on your computer. That way, it's easy to access or whatever. But it's a short letter, an anonymous letter, from someone who claims that they were this is what they claim. This is all alleged because it's anonymous, and there's no way of actually tracking that person because it's anonymous. but it's a short letter where this guy claims that he was a decision maker in the music industry, and he describes a meeting that he was invited to, which involved other company heads and decision makers at major record labels. He didn't name anybody specifically. No, there was no specific names because apparently what you find out when you read the letters that there was NDA. But basically he was just talking about how at this meeting they were given the opportunity to invest into private prisons. And the reason he explains also in the letter that he was confused that they were sitting here talking about prisons when they were music professionals. And then the person holding the meeting later explained to them that, see, the music that they're getting ready to make is what is going to fuel and fill these prisons, these privately owned prisons, and we would all be able to get rich off of it. So the name of this this document that you can look up, I don't know how much has been shared. I haven't heard it talked about, but on my channel, pretty soon, like sometime this weekend, I'm gonna take some time out, go live if I can, and I'm gonna read this document. It's called "The Secret Meeting That Changed Hip Hop." So if you want to write, I don't know if you're writing it down or if you're.
I think I actually just found the secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed.
And destroyed it. Yeah, that's it. That is it.
Okay.
I think it's something your audience, like, you would do your audience a great service, like, to share that with them after you read it. Whether you read it yourself or you read it, like, first with your audience or whatever. But it is, and if you look at the time period in which it claims that it was written, you can piece together all of the things that were happening within the soon-to-be biggest music genre in the world, which is hip-hop. You can see in that time frame what he's talking about and all the other things that were happening in that context of time. You could see how that plan has worked, whether that story is true or whether it's false. You can see how that premise of that story, of that letter, you can see how it has worked.
Yes. And
so when you get a shot.
And see, from what I'm looking at, and I'm kind of glancing through it, like, when NWA came out, they were so against that type of music. But then they turned it around and said, hey, maybe we got something. And that's where it goes back to what I was saying earlier when we asked about what's influenced our young people today, is the type of music. Which it was some rapper just came out within the last week or two that talked about his labor company want him to put out negative music toward Black communities because that's what's selling. But we as the people, we have to take a stand and say, no, we're not going to deal with that. We're not going to allow you to do this. Now, this all goes back to what Reverend Al Sharpton and several other ministers was trying to do, trying to get them from using the N word and calling out women bees and hoes. That goes back to all of that. But as it continued to be in music, it continued to mess up our community. And then if you notice today, most female rappers, a lot of them, you can't really say what they look like in the face. Because when they taking pictures, they turning their butt toward the camera.
That's the whole fact, yeah. That's true. That's true. But that's true though. I mean, and you know what? And so this kind of popped in my head, right? So you said that, and it makes me think about, like, well, okay, we should be trying to do our best to try to mitigate as much of that type of content. When it comes to our kids, we should be trying to, be careful who we're listening to stuff around. If we're grown, we should be like, try not to play the too short, too loud in the back where the kids, vulnerable. Don't play, blow the whistle too loud. Just don't play it at all. But I mean, I was listening to it made me think about Cardi B and that whole WAP phenomenon with her and Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was kind of controversy about that, but the next thing that I know, she's sitting up there interviewing the future president. So who is really if they're pushing bad stuff or if they're pushing negative things, obviously, like, it's our parents too, but a lot of our parents backed this current president, right? So if they're listening, they're saying, hey, go in there and see what Joe Biden's talking about. But he popped up and he got Cardi B on the screen. So how are you supposed to get away with it when you're trying to, you know what I mean? Did you see that interview where he had Cardi B interviewing him? Joe Biden had Cardi B interviewing him. This was right before the election.
That was a political stunt, because if he could get Cardi B to interview him, he could get the young people votes. Now, I voted for Biden for the simple fact we needed somebody other than Trump. That's my opinion. I don't know who you support. That's fine. We may support Biden, may not. But I'm not pleased with what Biden is doing now. And I'm definitely not pleased with the way that he handled the Haitians that was down in Del Rio, which they're saying is more hidden that way.
Oh, yeah, they said it's a couple 100,000, didn't they? Or tens of thousands?
Yeah, they said it's more Haitians hidden that way.
It's not a small number either. It's a very large number.
And that's why I love my church so much, because you could donate to them, because even though the mainstream media is not talking about it, there's some that is still at the border that still need supplies. And Friendship West is on the front line of trying to provide some things that they need, as for things they can sleep on, blankets, food, water. They need all these supplies. And if you're listening to my voice, you can actually go to friendshipwest.org or faithformula.org. And if you go to friendshipwest.org, there should be a link on it, and it'll send you to the right thing to help out. And they're asking, donation is cool, but they will prefer the money for they could buy in bulk and get a better discount on it. They can provide more things for the people. So definitely do that. So, and that's with anybody who's listening to the sound of my voice. Even throughout this pandemic, even though the church haven't been open to the public, Friendship West is still serving. We have a VIP ministry every Sunday. They still get food and clothes every Sunday. The VIP is very important people, but it's also it's a homeless ministry. So, and they still serving by VIPs, which is the homeless ministry, and still clothing them every Sunday. So so everybody can do their part to help out people. And they also just announced, and you'll have to check the website. They have different things going on. I talked about it on Sunday, where they doing rental relief and mortgage relief for people that's unable to pay their rental and mortgage. Just have to go to the website, and it should be on the website, and fill out for it. And the holidays are coming up. They're going to be giving out a lot of meals, but you need to register for that also. Just go to the website. You'll find the information on there. If it's not on there, call the church. Call the church tomorrow, and they'll get the information for you. I'm saying that in general for everybody. So, uh, but definitely, Freedom. I appreciate you for calling in. Always welcome to call in. No matter what we're talking about, you can call in, give your point of view. We may agree or may not agree, but that's the best thing about this show. Uh, I don't want somebody who always going to agree with everything I say and do. I want people to think for themselves and have their own opinion. And that's what the show is all about. We have our own opinion, and we will have a great time. And uh, I'm not gonna blame you for keeping me on this long, but
Man, I can't even believe it. I'm sitting here and I'm just listening to the show, listening to you, and playing the video game, and next thing I know, it's an hour going by.
no, I've been on since. Well, I guess I came on at 8:20, so I was a little bit late tonight. I was a little bit late tonight.
Hey, I'm gonna let you go, man. As far as things that I support, man, it's not so much about the person or the people that I support, man. I support legislation. I support policies that benefit the American people. That's what I'm all about. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm about those things that are going to benefit people. I want kids to not be feeling threatened going to school. I want kids to not be under attack in their cities and not afraid to go to the neighborhood. And if something happens, and they scared to talk to the police because they feel like the police ain't there to help them, and all kinds of crazy stuff that's happening that our kids got to deal with now. And if people in general, if the American public in our communities are not, if we're not being bold enough to stand on what we know is right, then we are doing a grave disservice to the future of this country. And I just want to leave that there, man. But thank you for having me on and letting me be on with you for so long.
No problem. And I got another question because you brought up something and I thought about it. You said you're in Georgia, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I seen a disturbing video right before before I came on the show. I don't know if you heard of it, but apparently a police officer chased the guy, and when he caught him, and when the video came on, they showed this cop stomping this guy.
He showed him stomping him?
Yes. He was stomping him. The guy was on the ground, and this guy was stomping this suspect. Then he put him in there.
I need to know a name, a city, officer name, or something so I can look up the story and I can follow you.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Any type of information, I'll be able to find it. I can follow you on the story.
It just came out. It actually happened, looked like yesterday. It's a Georgia trooper accused of stomping on suspect in Atlanta.
Okay, I'm about to watch a little video on it right now. But yeah, go ahead, tell me what happened. So
yeah, I'm just asking if you know anything about it because I seen it right before I came on, and I was like, "This, you got to be kidding me!" And this is a black police officer doing it to a black suspect. And
no, I haven't heard about it.
I've just seen I think Miss Risky sent it to me right before we came on, and I looked at the video and I'm like, wow, this dude literally, the dude was on the ground and this dude had his feet at least looking at about 2.5 feet off the ground, stomping on this guy.
Okay, I'm watching it literally right now. I see that there's a video from looks like a video from a high rise, and it looks like the suspect is running away from the police officer. It looks like he's holding out a taser. Looks like he got him with the taser, and then when he fell to the ground, he started stomping him like it was a Mortal Kombat video game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard about this, and I wonder what. Oh, this was in Fulton County, so this is in the city. It looks like it was down in Midtown or something like this. But it's okay. So I'm listening to the report as I watch the video. Okay.
All right.
And what the reporter is saying that when he tased him and right before he fell to the ground, that a gun fell to the ground as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't no gun in his hand to be stumped like that.
But listen, sir, and this is 2021. If I'm an officer and I know how, like, in this day and age, I don't care. Like, I wouldn't care if I'm gonna be honest. Like, if I'm chasing you and you are running away from me, one, that means something's like, no, honestly, because what am I supposed to do? Wait until you got the gun in your hand with the trigger? I'm not going to take that chance if I'm an officer. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not sorry, because if you take that gun, you're not going to think twice about using it on me.
Well, that's one. That's definitely one thing. If he have a gun in his hand, you can't wait a second to do what you have to do. But from what I've seen in the video, the suspect was on the ground, and the officer came up and was stomping him like he was basically like he walked in the kitchen and seen a bunch of roaches or something. So I don't know. I haven't looked into the story more, but it's kind of like I just thought about it. You in Georgia, and I'm like, hey, I know this because it's kind of interesting. So
they've got two angles on this video that I'm watching. They've got an angle from right behind where you can see it clearly, and then they got the angle from the high rise. But yeah, that's wild. But what do we expect from police officers these days? like since 2020, we might as well. We don't I don't know what the community, what the public in certain areas. I don't know what the from police officers. It's like if they doing their job chasing down a suspect, that obviously, or not obviously, but between them two, like, he obviously knows more than what I know. But as far as the officer, like, I don't know what we expect from the officers.
Well, I think,
you know what I mean? I don't know what we expect. If we want them to protect us, then we need to not protect.
I think
that kind of makes sense.
Like I said, in this situation, I don't know the full story, but from what I seen in the video, he was thumping the guy. And if it's true what you're saying, wasn't close by that, and he already tased the guy, that would be him the way he was. Now, it wasn't visible where he possibly had another gun, but he tased him. But from what I seen in the video, he basically was stomping this dude like he was tap dancing or something. I don't know. But
would you rather him stomp him or shoot him?
Well, if you already on tased him, so you know,
diffusing to escalate in a situation, and it's like, hey, I just need to handcuff you so I can see what the heck is going on, and I don't need you running from me. So I'm gonna make this like easiest for me as possible. Since you want to make it hard, which is why I don't know why you want to make it hard. Why you want to make it like that's what blows my mind about the way we view the criminals as the victims. And I'm
it's one thing.
That's what's making the community very unsafe right now. Like we take it on the side.
It's one thing. He've already tased him, so the guy's on the ground, and the gun fell out. You kick that gun away, and you had his taser still hooked up to him, and if you got to tase him again, but don't violate his rights and stomp him.
I think tasing him again would probably be way more dangerous than stomping him a couple times.
No,
'Cause,
I don't agree with
both
abusing
of
the
them, like,
suspect. Yeah, I
well,
feel like
okay,
I said, I'm gonna do more.
I'd rather take a couple stomps on the shoulder and on the side and on the hip than to take extra voltage in my body.
Well, don't run.
That's exactly.
Don't run.
Let me. Can I send a little message out to all my black folks who listening to right now? I just want to send a little message. Don't run from the police. Stop running from the police.
Well,
okay, stop running from the police.
If
you didn't do nothing wrong, then fight it in court.
Exactly, fight it in court.
Live
But
it to see another day, man. Live to see another day. If you know they out here hunting, if you think that they're out here hunting black people, then you need to not be a part of that statistic. Don't make yourself vulnerable or in any reason. Don't go out there and start slanging drugs. Don't go out there and get mixed with the wrong crowd. Don't go out there and steal from people. Don't go out there carjacking because it may not be a police officer. It may just be a regular law-abiding citizen that wants your stuff.
Exactly. Now also, we're giving that message to the people. We also got to give them to the police too. Stop killing innocent folks.
That's true. Too many innocent kids, man. Too many innocent kids. Too many little kids that are just dying.
Treat us like you would. Treat us like you would anybody else, with respect.
Oh, you're talking about the police?
Yes, the police. Treat us with the same respect. If you seen little Jimmy or Karen, treat us just like you would treat them. But unfortunately, a lot of policemen don't look at us like that. And I'm not going to go into it tonight, but I've told the story many of times when I was racial profiled by policemen and what I've done. So I say that for the next show. But we definitely, you always welcome to call. Like I said, I'll follow your page. And man, I'm gonna be struggling in the morning.
Maybe we'll come back on again, man. We'll come back on again for sure. We'll have another conversation. I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you for calling in. I appreciate the conversation. Appreciate everyone that actually tuned in tonight. And also, I did receive a text message. I haven't been able to respond back, but I will be responding back as soon as I get off and about the subject we was talking about tonight. So I will respond back, and hopefully I have plans for Sunday, but I may end up coming on a little bit early Sunday. If what this text message is saying, I'm gonna see how it goes, and may end up coming on between tomorrow and Sunday to give an interview. So we'll see how it goes. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. Continue to support the show, whichever platform you own. Please take the time, like, subscribe, click the notification for you can know when we are live. And also just share it with your friends. Tell them, hey, come check out this show. It's a cool show. They're gonna keep it honest. So until Sunday night, Miss Risky, I hope you're feeling better. Because I know if she would have been here, we wouldn't have been on this long. But that's my little sister. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I love each and every one of you. Until next time, peace.